Hey everyone, Reed Hendricks with Valor Ridge. Today's video, we're going to talk about how to retake the Second Amendment. Let's go ahead and get started.
Look, take a look at this. All we're asking you to do is uphold your oath. With police officers, it's a little bit more complicated because their oath is to the constitutions of the U.S., the states, also to enforce the laws of the U.S. and states in a lot of instances, but those are often in direct conflict.
Yes, often state and city ordinances are in direct violation of the Constitution, and that's where people's principle and character and morals come into play. Do you want to uphold unjust laws and be on the wrong side of history, or do you want to be a part of the continuing American Revolution, which is individual liberty, limited government? Do you want to be a part of that, or do you want to be some stupid minion just following orders?
Right. It's not an abstract theory. Back in the 90s, whenever I was still a young trooper, the Federal Department of Justice and other agencies had proposed and were carrying out, pardon, I'm not the linguist, carrying out warrantless searches of any public housing unit for all firearms. They were doing it in certain areas, not where I was at, a long way away, but they were conducting these. And right when it got started, I went into my operations lieutenant, very seasoned officer, very sharp guy. He had an open door policy, knocked on the door. Hey, LT, you got a second? Sure, what's up? You know, have you heard about what's going on with the warrantless searches of public housing? Yeah, I have. I don't like it. Okay. So we're up front, LT, with all due respect, and I mean that. If I'm ordered to take part in that, I will refuse to comply with that order. You know, his eyes kind of popped open because a 25-year lieutenant wasn't used to, some, young punk trooper that actually had hair at the time on his head, not on his chin, of telling him that he wasn't going to follow an order. And he, his eyes popped open. He thought about it for a second. Wheels turned for about 10 seconds, and he said, I agree with you. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that around here.
Sure.
I said, to take that one step further, sir, that's the most probably egregious violation of civil rights that I've seen in my time. If I witness other officers conducting those raids like that without any semblance of due process, without any warrants, nothing, that would be related to protecting their rights, then I will arrest them on site. I have the statutes. You look it up, and violation of rights, conspiracy to violate civil rights, they're federal statutes. You've taken an oath. All we're asking is that you uphold that oath and protect the rights of the citizens. So it's time to decide, are you going to, uphold government at any cost and any duly enacted law, which some of these have said, we will enforce the duly enacted law. In fact, the current director of my old agency, the Illinois State Police, said we will enforce whatever laws are passed. Like, okay, then, get out the fire hoses in Birmingham, Alabama, grab the German Shepherds, and let's start attacking people. If you're going to do it, then, step up and, give it a shot, dude, because I don't think you're going to like the outcome again. But again, if you want to be part of that, then you're going to be part of that. But if you want to really uphold your oath, let's take a look at what the rights of the citizens are.
You're not powerless, but you do have to put some effort. That means, guys, we can't be watching the game. We can't be entertained during our off time. You're going to have to put in the work, and that may mean time away from your family. That may mean that in your days that you're at the time that you're not on work, maybe you are doing this. But you need to get with your county board. You need to get with your sheriff. You need to get with your state's attorney. And you know what? You'd be surprised how many of them are open to these ideas. Now, let's go to the law enforcement side of things. I'm former law enforcement. You're retired law enforcement. Most of our friends are current or retired law enforcement. And so not everybody in law enforcement supports this crap either. They're not going to go enforce that. In fact, we have guys from a major metropolitan police department with a highly restrictive gun control laws that said, hey, we don't enforce it. No. We have officer discretion.
Yeah, that's a part of nullification, actually. If you're going to nullify unjust laws, there's a lot of ways to do it, and officer discretion is one of those ways to nullify it. And you can judicial, prosecutorial, law enforcement, all those can nullify unjust laws. So
I've received, you wouldn't believe the amount of emails that I've received from law enforcement all across this country, from one coast to the other and everywhere in between. Chiefs, sheriffs, troopers, officers from major police departments that say, hey, we're with you. We support the Second Amendment. This isn't going to happen on our watch. We will actively arrest any officer that tries to enact the gun control in our presence. And so there's these guys out there, but they need to know that they got our support, and they also need to know that citizens are not just going to lay down and accept this kind of subpar behavior from law enforcement. And I would challenge law enforcement in this country, and I know I've got a lot of law enforcement watches this video. Listen, You guys need to make a choice, and you need to either support and defend the Constitution and protect citizens' rights, or you choose to violate those. And here's the deal. If you choose to violate those, you are an enemy of freedom. You're an enemy to the Constitution. You are no countryman of ours. And furthermore, history will look upon you with shame and contempt. This is Reed Hendricks of Valley Ridge reminding you, the lessons that we learn are written on the tombstones of others. We'll see you on the ridge.